Hey,
We're back.
Candy. 8:21.
We're back. How you doing,
We're
Suze?
Oh, I mean, I've seen better days.
Me too. What's up with us?
I don't know. Is it us?
Is it sometimes there are seasons. Once my mom said this to me, and it really did help. She said, not every year is going to be your best year.
Oh, no.
And she's like, 1 year of your life is going to be the worst year.
Ah!
Right?
Sally!
And I was like, okay, check.
Yeah, we know that she's not wrong.
She's not wrong, And it's like, and then I have to remind myself that there are these, when we go through changes, or not just me and what I'm going through, but like anybody, there's the situation, and then just like an earthquake, there are these aftershocks that happen, where there's these little like
That's
ripples of where you can even have something happen, recover from it. It's in a way kind of like PTSD stuff, but where you just have, but not as diagnosable or as intense, where you just get this little aftershock after the big event.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
Me too. It's really hard. Usually I'm the one dishing out the good advice, but like, I feel like I've been having to just kind of like, give it to myself a little bit and be the most gentle and kind and loving to myself. And
Tell you what, best advice ever, and it's always the thing I end on, like whenever I'm like, I don't know what to do. Blah. It's the Serenity prayer.
Susie, you're right.
It's a secret. It's
It is.
It covers everything. Because
God grant me the serenity to accept the things
to change the things you
change
can,
the things I can,
accept the things you can't, and the wisdom to know the
wisdom
difference.
to know the difference.
If you can do that, you have figured out the secret to life.
And there is
that
so
third step's
much.
real hard.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into that. Accepting the things you cannot change. That is such a bigger category than we think it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is distilled down.
It is.
But,
Yeah.
but it is true.
There's so much that we don't have control over, we can't change. But those are the things that we tend to be the most like, I can't like, 6 months ago, me was like, I don't want kids. But then you take away that ability. Mm-hmm. And I have this, like, I get these waves of like, oh no, what have I done?
I can understand that.
But I didn't even do, like,
yeah.
It's not even like I did anything, It's just I decided to not be in pain for the rest of my life and have a normal life.
Well, though part of it, in your case, so you have this condition and they recommend treatment and the removal of it and all that. But the way that medicine works is they very rarely give you like, here's what you should do.
Right.
And it's hopeless or not, whatever. It's all very vague.
Very vague. And this surgery especially, because they're like, we don't know what we're going in. It could be everywhere.
It was like the worst surprise party waking up from that surgery.
The worst. And I was like, what did they take? And my ex was like, everything.
Are you serious? Is that like the way the conversation?
Yeah. Yes. He said all of it. And I was like, okay. And then my doctor said I did better than most people because he said most people burst into tears when they hear that.
Of course.
And I was like, should I have done that? I don't know what the right response is. And now I'm bursting into tears a few months later because of like some stupid shit, And like it's we have so little control over our lives, and that lack of control causes such distress. But it's like that. We got to use that serenity prayer. We got to accept those things. But man, if it isn't so hard to get to that place, because I feel like we are taught to believe that so much in our life is in our control. Mm-hmm. Don't you feel
especially in the
United
Western world.
States?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I love this podcast. This is like therapy. This is why I'm like, we're just going to talk about the personal stuff in the beginning because like we can all benefit from this talk, can't we?
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for, listeners.
Yeah, you wanted this. You asked for this. This is why we're here. But it is so hard. We're like sold this like you can do it. You have the power to change. Just think
it's a
positive.
meritocracy. There's all this, mythology about life and like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, all that stuff.
I keep hearing that word meritocracy. What does that mean?
It means
I could
that
Google
the
it,
people
but I'm
that
just going to ask
succeed,
Susie.
the people that succeed have earned it. It's merit. It's
based on merit. I see.
Yeah.
Meritocracy. That makes sense.
And it is a complete lie, and it does not account at all for all the things we're talking about. Your race, where you're born, the wealth of your family, your health lottery.
It is a fucking lottery.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Endometriosis, you did 0 things to cause that. 0. Right?
0 thing. But my brain, don't you think it went through the list of it was probably this, it was probably this, it was probably this. It was like so many because my brain says maybe if we can explain this away, maybe if we can have an explanation for or point a finger, who's to blame, or like you did this. Even if it's that pointing a finger at myself, that is in some way more comforting.
Yeah.
Than having to accept that this is the roll of the fucking dice and this is the hand you were dealt.
Yeah. And so many of those things have gone in our favor. Being born in the United States,
right.
Being white in a white supremacist world.
Yes.
Different parts of our familial life or our health or whatever have been so lucky.
Yeah.
But that's not what you think about when bad things happen. You're not like, oh, but the good news is sometimes people think I look cute.
Right.
Or whatever.
No, right. We can't, or like I was on TV once. That does not help me at all in these moments right here.
Yeah. And sometimes it just feels like a kick in the teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fertility stuff is such an important one because, that's pretty much the narrative for a girl her whole life.
Right.
From dollies and Barbies and things. It's just about like that end of having a baby.
And then, you like my mind naturally created so many scenarios and painted such like these futures with children and with a partner in all this way. And, I'd say this to clients all the time that sometimes the most difficult thing is having to, I imagine it like a whiteboard, this whiteboard that we get these, expo markers that are so fun to color with. Mm-hmm. And you have to be very careful because they rub off so easy. And, you'd like take your time and like make it exactly how you want and like plan out the future and draw it all out and imagine it. And then it's like somebody comes by with a eraser and erases all that. And I could get anxiety just thinking about somebody erasing a whiteboard that I've just written all over, let alone trying to erase all of the memory. Like, and that's just a whiteboard, as an example in my mind. But like, this is like the thought and the care and the intention and everything that you've put behind all these thoughts. It's a lot.
And then you get the toxicity of people being like, but isn't it nice to have a clean whiteboard?
Right. Mm-hmm. You're like, yeah. So that is the toxicity. That is the toxicity. Yep. And I am starting to recognize, not starting to, I have fully accepted and understand now that being optimistic is fine and wonderful, but toxic positivity is not helpful to anybody.
Hey, did you notice that in our book club book about the MLMs?
Oh, Susie.
Yeah.
I fucking love that book.
It was so good.
That book was so good. You are the best at picking books that go together, like our themes, the MLM theme and that. It was so interesting to learn about how white supremacy played a role in that, how toxic positivity is something that we're all like, it is fascinating and it is so true and it's so dangerous. And we in the Western culture here are...
Yeah, those messages they're everywhere.
They are everywhere. Yeah. And it is doing way more damage.
So I don't know. I'm sorry that you're having to deal with all this, especially about like fertility. Mm-hmm. And I don't know the answer.
Yeah,
I just know I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. That's what feels good, is just hearing somebody say, like, I know it's hard. Oh, see, I didn't cry. There were other episodes where I didn't even cry, and now I'm going to. I think I got through a whole breakup episode. I think you're hanging in there.
Okay, we'll do a palate cleanser because all this is important, and the stuff I'm about to say is just, frivolous. But the bottom line is you got to make dinner, okay? So maybe make it easier with HelloFresh.
Yes.
Take a load off.
Please, when I'm going through all this emotional stuff, the last thing I want to do is decide what I'm going to eat for dinner. No.
That's so true.
I'm not doing any of that. I loaded up my fridge. HelloFresh, I'm getting make it easy. Give me the instructions.
Make it easy.
And you know what I realized in going through difficult times? There is a lot of power in something as simple as making a meal for yourself and feeling accomplished afterwards.
Yeah.
I had zero energy to think about what to do, but when I put those ingredients out in front of me and I followed those instructions, and by the end of what was only 15 or 20 minutes, I had an amazing meal in front of myself that made me feel accomplished and like I was taking care of myself. Yeah. That was so helpful.
Well, and it sure beats because the other alternative is like a bag of Doritos.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Don't want girl dinner. I want we're taking care of Sarah.
Yes.
Let's do it right.
I love HelloFresh. I think their meals are so delicious. I love the kid-friendly options. You can choose all kinds of different options, and you can mix and match. I love that the ingredients are seasonal. You get the recipe, and it's not difficult. If you're not like a great cook or anything, don't worry about that. They have their biggest menu yet right now with over 50 recipes you can choose from every week. And you know what's cool? If you're going away on vacation, you can adjust your address and have the food shipped to where you're staying. So if you have one of those places where you have a kitchen and you can make your own meals, how cool is that? And then they have the Taste of Summer series. There's Old Bay shrimp and sausage, all these delicious summery recipes. You will freaking love it. And they have a great deal for you this month. Go to HelloFresh.com/BrainCandyApps for free appetizers for life. 1 appetizer item per box while subscription is active. That's free appetizers for life at HelloFresh.com/BrainCandyApps. Number 1, meal kit. We love it.
Sarah's number 1 meal
but
kit.
I love you. I'm here for you. The Brainiacs are here for you.
I know. I love our book club meetings where we just get to talk about everything and feel
trash
supported.
your exes if if I have anything to do with it.
You have anything to do with it. That's right.
We got a lot of signups last month.
I love that.
And I welcome you all because that's where the good stuff happens.
Yeah. There's nothing that encourages me or makes me more comfortable telling all.
Yes, candid.
It's a paywall.
Right. Well, and they really honor it too.
They are the best. It was oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because half of them are fucking therapists anyway. So they're all we honor confidentiality, even though you didn't sign anything. We're all gonna, and we could just talk in there and be ourselves. It is a safe space. So
unless you're one of Sarah's exes, where it is not safe at all.
In which case, no one is safe.
That is so true. So anyway, join the Candy Club.
Yeah, but you know what? They did it to themselves, so.
That's right.
Right.
I'm an ambassador of the truth is what I am.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Okay, well, I do know what to tell you. I have some interesting stories. Okay, this is fascinating. This is something that I could spend the whole rest of the episode unpacking. So we have a dilemma, if you will, so a good example is the nuclear reaction sites like Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Where here you have a serious, catastrophic emergency that took place.
Yeah.
Or like situation that happened with devastating consequences. Radioactive material that is still radioactive for thousands of years. How do you warn future generations about the dangers of stuff that could be where people are trying to build or settle, etc.?
So who are we having to tell?
Well, like, where an example, like where this idea kind of comes from, or what you can look at for this idea in Japan, like they've had tsunamis in Japan forever.
Yeah.
So Japan has created a system to warn future generations about tsunami dangers. And way back in the 1400s, there were these huge stones. They're these Japanese, they call them tsunami stones of Japan, where they have like carved into it information. Like in 1933, they carved into it, high dwellings are the peace and harmony of our descendants. Remember the calamity of great tsunamis. Do not build any homes above this point.
That was so nice of them.
Well, okay, so it's something that on surface level you'd be like, oh yeah, just write a message to a card. People will see it centuries later.
Or you just like tell each other, you know, like my kid, and then.
But who knows what could happen? Who knows, like a war could come through and then just totally wipe everything off. Like, how do you warn people when you don't know what could happen to the future civilizations, and you need to warn people hundreds of years in the future, 1,000 years in the future?
I am not in charge of this stuff.
Well, yeah, it is a good thing. And don't worry, they have people who are in charge of this stuff. So researchers and historians and futurists have been trying to provide these long-term warnings across generations that are effective in preventing construction, really, in areas that are dangerous for people to live and where they've had disasters. Because sometimes it'll be hundreds of years before a volcano erupts or something, and you're like, I don't know. There's no history. And who knows what could happen? I mean, there could be some sort of devastating accident, something that, like, I don't know, wipes out a whole population there, and then there's no information left. So
what ideas are they coming up with?
Okay, I'm so glad you asked. These ideas are fascinating. So
futurists are a fascinating breed.
They are. You have to think of things that nobody's thought of. And where you even start with that is, I don't even know where to start. But nations and big world leaders have recognized that this is an important thing to do and have put together committees and teams to do this. In 1993, there was something called the Sandia National Laboratories Report. And this one is extra hilarious to me. Now, these are the top minds that they put together who are like, I want to say this for all of my next ideas. They came to these guys who are like, the future, the best. Keep in mind, we asked the best people.
Oh, God.
Okay? So, and it only gets better the more we unpack this. I told you I could do a whole episode on just this alone. Okay, so that Sandia National Laboratories 1993 report, they proposed making landscapes look menacing to deter future generations. So their designs included things like foreboding rubble and spikes jutting out of hazardous areas.
What I pictured.
Right? I'm like, how many of us have watched that sci-fi film that's like that big like black obelisk or something with all like the spikes and like and that would be that they say if we produce this landscape that looks really terrifying.
Sure.
Then maybe people will go, oh, I don't want to build here.
Yeah.
And so they suggested that using what they call a black hole landscaping. So that's a black masonry slab absorbing heat, making the area inhabitable and uncomfortable.
I mean, I don't have a better idea.
Oh, the futurists do. So I'm going to get to that. Okay. But so some of the messages, they also said we need messaging. So just like the Japanese tsunami rocks, they're like, we got to write some messaging on there. And they have to think of ways to find a language that things can be translated well, like simple enough words, but also to convey a message.
Right, because like my dumbass, when I'm like, why do we need to preserve these languages? And people are messaging like, it's kind of important.
Yeah, right. And you have to be like, be firm, but also not like scare people away. And I think it's one of those things where it's like asking somebody to describe a color where it's like, you know, the feeling or the vibe, but you couldn't describe, like how to actually put this into words is difficult. So here are some of the messages that they proposed.
Okay.
This place is a message, and part of it, a system of messages. Pay attention to it.
Oh, Lord.
I know. I'm like, what are we doing here? This sounds more like a game of Catan, where like you're like or like some sort of like mythical quest. Like, am I playing Dungeons and Dragons, or am I like prepping for the future?
Okay, so a naysayer, or sort of like a skeptic, would say like, maybe we should just focus. Like, the odds of this all existing in a few hundred years. I think a lot of us are like, you're being optimistic. And so why don't we focus on today? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, what's the argument for even doing this? We're more concerned about this.
I think the futurists are going to be very upset that they got a degree in futurism when you're like, why don't we focus on today?
There is no future.
Like, that's not what I got a degree in. I didn't get a degree in todayism.
Well, I guess I just want them to defend the position. But all right, let's just say let's just give it to them.
I mean, but like, okay, let's take Chernobyl. Say something happens where World War III breaks out and Russia is just unrecognizable in certain ways. Yeah. And now and then you also lose the infrastructure and maybe I'm assuming Russia didn't win in this situation. But
okay. Again, optimistic.
Again, and now you've like lost the infrastructure and like the people who are responsible for, I don't know, limiting access to those areas or containing those places. And that just becomes like abandoned and like rubble. And then 200 years go by.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't have like, I don't know, something's happened where some fucking solar flare has scrambled all of the ability for internet to work. And so people can't go look up and find the history of like this site.
And so the people would say, what happened here?
Yeah.
You know, they'd arrive and they just see desolation, but not know why.
Well, now Chernobyl doesn't look like desolation. It looks like nature has taken over. It's kind of it's looking like that because that's what happens. And now it looks like
you would never know.
You would never know.
Right.
It looks like that in Detroit too. All these areas now. Enough time has passed where like the bears moved back in.
What do you mean Detroit? What happened there?
Oh well, there were areas of Detroit that were just abandoned and were like what the hell is that name that they did the Eminem 6 Mile like that
8 Mile.
8 Mile, 6 Mile. Oh my God, that's 2 miles down.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but somebody sent us this video of Kid Rock talking about how black ladies tend to misname him and be like, "Hey, Chris Rock." And everyone was saying how you would do this.
I would 100% do that.
But anyway, 8 Mile. What about it? What happened there?
For a long time, a lot of the buildings and a lot of the homes were abandoned. Right. And became like
condemned or something.
Yes, condemned. Mm-hmm. And they were abandoned for so long that nature returned. Nature like came back and there were bears that were living in the homes that were abandoned in Detroit.
Gotcha.
So nature comes back and now it's like it almost looks gorgeous and beautiful and it's like covered in vines and everything like that. If I rolled in, maybe when everything went to shit, it would look like that. But not 100 years later when it's all covered in like beautiful, lush vines and looks like a plant utopia. Like, I'm like, oh, I'll move in here. That's where I want to move.
Okay, got it.
And then you're like, I don't know, I imagine like a scene from Indiana Jones where he's like pulling back some vines and like rubbing off this plaque. And on the plaque it says, don't go any further.
Don't rub your...
This is like, and we're like, it's been hundreds of years. What do they know? Next thing you know, you're dead 5 years later from radiation poisoning. Isn't it interesting that the language that they came up with looks so much or sounds so much like some of the language used to maybe warn us that past civilizations have used, and maybe we didn't listen so well?
Yeah. Or even just what we say to like our girlfriend who's dating someone, we're like, no, dangerous energy. Like it's universal, right?
Bad vibes.
Red
the vibes
flag.
are off with this one. Yes.
Yeah, vibes are off.
Vibes are off. Yep.
I feel like that's a good one. Vibrations are,
Okay, you know what? That is kind of universal. Like vibes are off.
Yeah.
Because we can all understand. Like you play a tone that music could do, like a tone that's good, tones
dissonance.
are bad. Dissonance. Yeah. If it doesn't feel right, it ain't right. That's what I would put on the sign.
Yeah, right. That is a good point because music is also like something that transcends time and space.
Yep.
I love this. We're like practically futurists.
I mean, basically, that's what half the show is.
Do you mind if I like go back to real Earth right now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Listen, shit happens. Am I right? And same with my cats. Shit happens, and I don't want to scoop it. I don't want to smell it. And thanks to Litter Robot, I don't have to.
I'm so excited about this. What a great sponsor.
I don't have to put up any dangerous energy signs or anything because I actually should because you can't smell it. So no one would ever know it was there. Maybe that's like the key. But Litter Robot, it's like futurists would love it.
Yeah.
It feels like you're in Star Trek because here's what it's like this circle.
I keep telling people about it.
It's so great. It's a circle, and then they go inside of it and do their biz, and then it's like, ooh, and it cleans out automatically on its own. And then I can see it on the app. And by the way, who knew cats were so regular? It's like almost to the minute every day.
Are you serious?
Yes. I had no idea.
Are you jealous or what?
Yes.
I knew it.
I wish that they could teach me about that. But anyway, this thing is so awesome. And the only bad thing about cats is the whole litter box scene. So I'm telling you, this makes it the perfect pet. So as a special offer to our listeners of the show, go to stopscooping.com/braincandy and enter promo code braincandy to save an extra $50 on any Litter Robot bundle. That's an extra $50 on any Litter Robot bundle at stopscooping.com/braincandy and enter promo code braincandy at checkout. Stopscooping.com/braincandy and enter promo code braincandy.
Yes. Okay, I love this because cats is also going to be involved in this story. Or cats are involved in this story.
Okay.
So there was also, in addition to this group that was this Scandia National Laboratories in 1993, in the 1980s, there was a group of experts that was formed, and I don't know who formed this group, but they are called the Atomic Priesthood. That was developed in the 1980s, and they were experts who formed a priesthood to pass down knowledge through rituals and legends, specifically about revealing the exact nature of the dangers. So kind of like you were saying of like, we have to like create the lore around it. We have to pass that down. And so their job has been it exists. This is a real thing that is going on.
So cool. I love it.
This atomic priesthood where people get together and they create these messages, and the messages are updated every few generations to ensure comprehensibility, to make sure that the future generations will understand it. And they're doing their work out there, but they also in and I don't know who's like leading the charge to like mark these historic sites, but somebody's funding this and realizing that this is an important thing we need to do, and reaching out to not just the futurists, but also people who specialize in symbols and like symbology. And they called semiologists, SEMI, I think that's how you pronounce it, semiologists. That's the studies of signs and symbols. And so this French semiologist, whose name is Paolo Fabri, he came up with what they called the Ray cat idea.
Oh my God.
This is the greatest thing ever.
Love it.
We get these cats. We're going to now genetically modify and mutate cats to be able to turn a different color if the cats are exposed to radiation. So we have to like embed these stories and myths and folklore in a way to emphasize the role of what they call Ray cats. And yes. And
why do you think they call them Ray?
What, like an atomic ray? I don't know. Like they're like,
yeah, like ray of light or something.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
Or like
they're
Ray
going to change. What if they're going to change? They're like, oh, I don't know. Is that a terrible Ray Romano impression? Probably. I don't even know what he sounds like, but that's kind of yeah. And so they are looking to like culturally embed this idea of like cats are going to change color, and this would be with songs and with language and with stories, and really like
that's cool.
Yeah, and so that's what this man who specialized in symbols, semiologist, that's what he proposed. But then a radio reporter named Matthew Keelty he's like looking for the internet of like, what am I going to write a story about? What am I going to write a story about? And he finds this paper and he writes a story about it. And it goes viral and people start paying attention. And they're like, well, okay, and then it becomes, maybe you remember Saturday Night Live did this laser cat thing for a while.
That's what I keep picturing.
This is right around that time because there was a song that came from this, a Ray Cat song. There was a T-shirt that was made. It became this like weird thing in the science community where they're like, Ray Cats. And it was like hilarious to just a small group. And so a biologist I want to say he was at Stanford at the time. I can't remember what school, but his name's Kevin Chen. He was like, wait a sec, we can do this.
Yeah.
And so Kevin Chen gets his team together and they start with, because he's like, well, all we have to do is we have to find the bacteria that reacts to radioactivity. So they need to find something they have to introduce and they have to find first this bacteria that will change color, a very simple organism that will respond to radioactivity. And
I'm acting like this is easy. I'm like, yeah.
I know that. Yeah, I already know that. Next, what's the next thing? And so they found that in jellyfish. They found that this gene existed in jellyfish. So now they've taken the gene from the jellyfish, and then they're able to grow that and like slowly over time introducing different species, like genetically modify and bring out these traits. So if you're ever wondering what's going to happen in the future, the answer might be atomic cats that change color because of radiation.
Cats are weird, aren't they?
And that you would have to work so like to think about that. You have this culture where everybody's like talks about these cats that change color, and it's like this history and it's like this fable and lore, and then all of a sudden somebody's like digging up a site, going to build a new, I don't know, fucking library or restaurant, whatever they're doing in the future. And all of a sudden the cat turns to pink.
Wow.
You're going to be like, it's happening. It's here.
It finally paid off.
Yeah. Right?
It's crazy. I didn't realize that it lasts that long. Thousands of years.
Thousands of years that radiation stays active. And they have taken it. I can't remember what site they were talking about, but there was radioactive material. Oh, yes, I do. We have a dump site. There is a dump site in the United States in New Mexico, I believe, where they have dug a hole 1 mile into the earth, and they're just chucking all the radioactivity.
I love how they think that's a great idea.
I mean, it's Susie, right? Oh, what could go wrong?
Right,
Let's just throw all the radioactive material into one thing.
I feel like that's what happened in Denver at that mystery shoe place with the lake and the fence.
Like, what's happening?
Oh my God.
Right?
Hey, I can't think too much about it because I'm already down in the dumps.
I'm sorry, this didn't help. Now I'm making you worried.
Laser cats, though, that's fun.
Yeah, laser cats. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
Like,
and Kevin
now,
Chen.
Yeah, and Kevin Chen, who was like, wait a sec, we can do this.
Got you,
and
boo.
then they told the French guy about it, and the French guy was like thrilled. There's, you know what, I already sent the documentary. There's a short, like 12-minute documentary about this, and I sent it to Dahlia so that she could put it in our newsletter.
I can't believe you sent it to Susie.
Well, because I was like, I got to tell you the story
I gotta
first.
watch it.
It's really cool. And what's really cute is like, oh, I thought it was cute. They tell the French guy like, hey, look at what's happened because of that. And he's like, this is exactly what I wanted to happen. He's like, this is what I was hoping.
Good for him.
He's like, I was hoping that it wasn't going to be the solution. I recognize that mine's just a concept and idea, but my hope is that my concept and idea can spark imagination and creativity and curiosity in future people who are studying
He probably
this.
feels really gratified.
And he seemed like such a sweet old man. Like he was
he's
like
old.
Yeah,
Right,
he's
that
probably
makes sense.
70s, 80s,
Oh,
80s.
he's been
and
waiting
he's
his whole life for this kind of...
cool and just like in his French countryside, like picking peaches off of his like peach orchard. I don't know, some bullshit like that, but awesome and adorable. Probably radioactive or something. I don't know.
I don't know if they have a peach flavor, but I do know they're delicious mosh bars. I know that they have a plant-based line, and I know that they are delicious, and all the flavors I've had are great, but I don't know that I've ever had peach. I'll have to ask them. But mosh bars are fantastic. We keep them on hand all the time. We've been taking them on our little fishing hikes we've been going on and having so much fun. They're so great. They have 12 grams of protein, which, as you know, as a Pump Club member,
yes,
I'm always trying to get more protein, and sometimes it's hard. And it also has ashwagandha, lion's mane, collagen, omega-3s. I just love them. They're so convenient. Plant-based protein bars. Awesome.
Do not sleep on the lemon.
Oh,
the
yeah,
lemon is the best one.
It's so funny because when you get the variety pack, it's always the last one.
That's
and I'm
what
like, suckers.
That's what I did. I saved it till the very end because I was like, nobody wants the lemon
Nobody wants
one.
lemon.
And then I ate it. And
It's
then
like a lemon bar.
I reordered. I went out. Yes, it is. And I went out and I reordered just a box of just the lemons. I ordered 2 boxes of them.
See?
Yeah.
Sleeper hit is what that is.
Sleeper
Thank
hit.
you
It is
to-
so freaking good. It feels like it's like, and the perfect camping breakfast.
That's what I'm saying.
Perfect.
Perfect. And I should expect nothing less from the son of Arnold, Patrick Schwarzenegger. We love mosh bars. If you want to find ways to give back, because they give back, they are supporting women's research for Alzheimer's, which I love, the women's Alzheimer movement. If you want to find ways to give back to others and fuel your body and brain, Mosh bars are the perfect choice for you. Head to moshlife.com/braincandy to save 20% off, plus free shipping on either the bestsellers trial pack or the new plant-based trial pack. That's 20% off plus free shipping on either the bestsellers or plant-based trial pack at moshlife.com/braincandy. Thank you, Mosh, for sponsoring this episode. I love you guys.
Yes, we do. Okay, we talked about Ray cats. Talked about that. It is very funny. And now I'm going to think about, every time I think about laser cats, I'm going to be like, don't fucking joke about those guys.
Yeah,
They're
you're like,
our
this is
future.
serious,
They're going to save us
everybody.
all. Yeah. The Ray cats will save us all. Okay. This is another story I want to discuss. Have you heard about the term or concept of friendship marriages?
Ugh. No, I guess not.
Why are you already mad?
Maybe a little. I don't know. I'm mad at all these. I was with someone this weekend who's in a polyamorous relationship, and I was so annoyed.
What the fuck are you hanging out with in a polyamorous?
Well, it was like their brother.
Okay, I'm like, Susie,
And-
I know you're. You
I know.
tell me nothing.
This this person's brother, and I was just, I wanted to be really cool about it, like a young person would be.
Yeah.
And I started that way. I was like, yeah, who cares? I mean, it doesn't matter to me, whatever floats your boat. And but then the more details I learned, the more annoyed I got, because it's like a married couple, and then they have this man, and then he's proposed to the lady, and I'm like, what are people doing?
I think this might be the opposite of that.
Oh, okay. What is this?
Okay.
You're just friends, you don't bang?
Sort of, yeah. So in Japan, this is becoming more and more popular with Japanese youngsters, so this article called them, and already I'm like, who wrote this? An 80-year-old man? Youngsters?
Did Susie
Nobody
write
uses
this?
that word. Right. Yeah, did Susie write this? So it says they're ditching traditional marriages for this new trend that they call friendship marriages. And I'm having a hard time understanding the things that separate the friendship marriages. They're also known as Tomodachi Kikon. Yeah,
just joking.
No. Tomodachi Kikon. They're a type of marriage where individuals marry for practical reasons rather than romantic love. So the arrangements, they look at how you're compatible instead of are you in love. And to me, I'm like, that just sounds like a marriage in your 40s.
That's for real. That's like same thing.
That's okay, because I don't, and I looked at 4 different articles plus about this to see like what am I missing here? And so the articles talk about how
what men are into this idea, by the way. Gay men?
I think that is another thing I was thinking.
People?
I was thinking that maybe so there's a lot of pressure from a bunch of different reasons. There's financial stability, social status, fulfillment of family or societal expectations for people to get married. And some people just want to avoid the social stigma of being single or want to meet family pressures to get married. There's a lot of family pressures to get married. And they don't want, as this article puts it, the emotional complexities of a romantic relationship.
It's a false paradigm.
I know. You think there's not going to be emotional complexities in this?
Exactly.
It makes sense at all. So it says that the article says these marriages can offer mutual benefits like shared living expenses, joint child rearing, and emotional support without the pressure of maintaining romantic relationships. They allow both parties,
because there's no complexities to roommates.
Right. They allow both parties to pursue their own personal interests and goals independently. Shouldn't that be what a marriage is too?
Exactly.
I was like, that is my definition of what I want in a marriage. I would want a marriage that allows both parties to pursue their own goals and interests independently. And then it says, what are the agreement terms? So couples in friendship marriages often establish clear agreements about relationship dynamics, including financial arrangements, living conditions, and boundaries regarding romantic or sexual relationships outside the marriage. Again, that sounds like a marriage.
Yeah, these people are delusional.
What is the difference? And so the other thing, so then it goes on to talk about how these are legally recognized in the same ways as romantic marriages. And then I'm like,
who's announcing it?
Who's to say? Yeah, who's the one saying, just so you know, this is a
just so you know, we're not banging everybody.
Right, like that. And then the part where I was like, okay, now I don't even know what you're talking about. They said that the couples also can bring children into the situation.
And this is like, I'm hearing a lot about this, like where friends will agree to like co-parent.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
I think that is what we're talking about. I think that might be it. It's like we just agree that like, look, I have never said this with any of my male friends, but I have multiple deals going with my female friends.
Yeah,
where
that'd
I'm like,
be fine.
Here's the deal. We're like 50 years old. I want a nice house. I'm not going to afford one on my own. Like,
Who are you talking to? You never said this to me.
Well, because you're married with a kid. I'm talking to my friends.
But yeah, you could get in on this. I could deal with all the bullshit and the tough times.
You want to share? I'll share. Fucking A.
I'm just like, I thought you were going to move here.
No, like Jesse and Ashley were like, we just get a big house together. Too. Okay, we're bringing everybody.
No,
we'll just get a big house for all the ladies. And we just live there with no men.
Or
Yeah.
Like, you want no men. I get that. That's fair. That's fair. I made my bed.
Like that. Yeah, you have to lie in it, Susie. Yeah, with your dick.
Right. Okay. I accept it. Okay. So you're saying like Golden Girls.
Yeah. That we're going to live forever.
Allowed.
I mean, what are we going to do? That's like, these are the longest relationships I have, the best friendships. We agree on so many things. We'd be able to like, it would be so easy. Like,
yeah, all right. Whenever I
marriages.
think about that stuff, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I can see why people would want to forego tradition.
I just don't. Yeah, it just feels like, can't you just do this without saying it's a friend? Oh, we have a friendship marriage. Like, can't you just like get married? And like, I feel like this is what gay people and asexual people have been doing.
Yeah, we don't need to know about it
for so long.
We don't need to know.
You know?
Yeah, and you're so right. This is the opposite of the things that annoyed me. All this weird ass, like, polyamorous, like banging everybody and whatever.
This is the opposite of that.
This is just like
let's
civilized.
just work it out on paper and agree that like
this is a business arrangement,
right? And the best marriages are like business arrangements in a way. Like, yes, of course, the love is there, but you have to have like it's. I know people are not going to like when I say this, and they're going to be like, "Well, it's about love." Okay, that can only get you so far. When you are getting married to somebody, when you're signing up to like go into business of life with this person, you want to know that you're on the same page. You're starting a business with this person. Do they have the same ideas about finances? Do they have the same ideas about growth of the company? About who to employ, about what roles they have, like all this stuff. And if you have a good understanding of how you guys are going to run the business of your relationship, the business of being married, then you can have a healthy relationship. But if two people disagree on how that business is run, I want to run it like this, I want to run, then it's not compatible.
It does kind of feel, though, I see what you're saying, and I could be persuaded about all of it, but it does kind of feel like all this stuff is just what happens when people feel completely out of control, like that our society is crumbling. Yeah. And that, you know, the idea of a post-truth world, like people often, scholars have been referring to that because like the way that social media and the internet in general have evolved has created a situation where like everyone has their own realities that they're living in.
Yeah.
And that's very unsettling to, I think, especially younger adults. And so they're just trying to control, like the Serenity prayer.
Yeah, that's
what can
totally
I control?
Yes, that's 100%, Susie.
And that makes sense to me because we have given them a freaking shit world.
Yeah.
We didn't set them up, and so I shouldn't judge them and their weird-ass polyamory.
It's really weird to be on the we give them this world side of things instead of the this is the world you gave us side
I mean,
of
the
things.
Boomers did it more. They were worse.
Yeah.
And they're not even sorry.
Right.
Like, I feel like at least we're like, yeah, I don't know what happened.
Right. We're like,
they're
we
just
gave
sort
you
of
a great skincare routine, so be grateful. At least you know about skincare.
I think all these shenanigans that you read about that are like, people are really disrupting the sort of status quo. It comes from a desire to control.
That's
the
a really
limited
good
things
point.
We can. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, young people.
Yeah. You have to get in your friendship marriages. All I'm saying is that doesn't sound like the worst thing.
It doesn't,
friendship
but it
marriage
also
sounds like the kind of marriage that I actually want. When I negotiate boundaries, I get to pursue my own interests. There's understanding of each person, like what they bring to the table. And yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, I hear you. But it also sounds like thinking something's going to be better than it is. Like the bottom line is that people are people and all relationships are difficult and you can't avoid it.
And there's a company, I can't remember the name of it, but there's an agency that is setting people up. So it's almost like a matchmaking service where they're like, you're compatible with this person. And then I'm like, how different is that from arranged marriages?
They're going to start banging, though.
100%.
That's another thing about people. They're horny.
Guaranteed. That's what I was like. Unless these people are either asexual or not gay or like not interested in sex, whatever, they will bang.
They will bang.
And that they know that because they're resulting in children.
Oh, I thought you meant adopting.
No, I mean conceiving the children. And I'm like, this is just a relationship.
You're like, I've heard of this before.
Yeah, you guys are defining relationship right now.
Oh my gosh.
So that's why I'm like, I don't understand how this is different than regular marriages, or at least what I would want.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
People are always up to weirdness, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, too, I know you're wrapping it up.
No, I'm just folding up my paper. Is that the...
Oh, my God. Do you have more?
I do, but I could save it.
No, you do whatever you want.
No, not like, well, I could talk for a million years. It's about whatevs.
I mean, have you watched season 2 of The Jinx yet?
Oh, my God.
Sarah.
It's so good.
Unbelievable.
It's so good. It really shows how if you are a wealthy white man, you can literally get away with murder.
Yeah.
And the
Are
fact
you
that
caught up?
No.
Okay. You're right, though. That is so, I mean, I have never, you would think like this was amazing season 1. They changed how documentaries are made and all that. So this second season is really just sort of a cash grab, like, let's make some more episodes. And it isn't. I think the second season's even better than the first season.
Ooh.
Because it's like, it's this stuff. It's relationships. It's how people can be manipulated and how wealth and, I don't know, friendship and all these things can affect decisions and everyone and greed. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Every episode I'm like, holy crap, it keeps getting better.
Oh my God.
This guy, I mean, money really messes people up.
Yep. I've been thinking about this a lot. There was another story that I heard recently about some wealthy person, and it was like the heir to something thrown, like, and I said to myself out loud, oh, it was our book club book. There was some mention of somebody in there and I was like, I am going to be more surprised if, what the fuck is his name? Jeff Bezos or what's the other? Elon Musk, if their children aren't sociopathic serial killers.
Yeah.
I will be surprised. Show me that. Because this money, power, born into a life, like that stupid audio of I'm looking for a man in finance, 6'5", trust fund, blue eyes, or whatever. I'm like, you don't want that. Chances are good he will murder you.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking.
Yeah, because you get hardwired into all kinds of like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no. It's just like so much permission and so much like ass kissing and not people standing up to them and getting their way. I've just like had it with like nepotism and all that. And then after I saw fucking Kanye West's daughter embarrassing anyone who's ever been in musical theater as her
What'd
performance
she say?
Oh, Susie. You didn't see a clip from this?
No.
She did at the LA Bowl. She was Simba in a musical production of The Lion King. That girl cannot sing one fucking note. And I am not under exaggerating. I am not being I'm not being over dramatic about this. She's so bad. I couldn't watch it. It's painful to watch. It's painful. And it was like, she came and was like, Kanye came in there, or whoever said, I want my daughter to be Simba in The Lion King, and she didn't know how to dance. She didn't know where to go, any of the stage cues. It was the worst. It was so bad. And I was like,
I feel like
gross.
This is my hot take for today.
Yeah.
I feel like inheritance should be illegal.
Yeah, yeah. You know
of
what?
any kind,
I like that.
even $5.
I like that.
I think every person should have to just start
fresh. Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what? You don't get it. And you know what? That would change people's yeah. Let's
like
make that. No,
Gary
you
Goldman
don't get
does
to do
this
that.
bit about how like people argue against welfare, saying like, people will like feel entitled to these benefits without having earned it, and and then he makes, of course, the connection of like how that's literally how every rich family has operated, and how they inherit all this money for having done nothing. For it's a lottery, and that we act like they deserve that, and that's fine.
Hate it.
You
have to see this clip, Suze.
I really do.
You are going,
because how did he?
I actually
what
want you to
music
watch
is.
it. I want you to watch it with me watching you.
Okay. Find it.
North.
Oh God.
You're gonna Google it.
Is this
You're
going to
looking?
be? I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it's so bad.
Northwest is Simba.
Yeah. Watch it.
Okay. Oh Lord.
Oh, this is so fun for me.
Where is the actual video?
Yeah, you have to hear her singing.
Is this on television?
I don't think so. No, it's at the Hollywood Bowl. I said LA Bowl, Hollywood Bowl. You have to hear the volume.
Oh no. It's like one note.
It's
one note. And
all that money and you couldn't pay for a fucking vocal coach? What is wrong?
You know what? The worst thing is it's not just tone deaf. She has no charisma.
Right? None.
She has no stage presence.
None. And I'm like, at least, Beyonce made sure that Blue Ivy was really good up there. And that girl, she crushed it. And you can tell Beyonce like worked her and was like, if you're going to go up there, you're going to really do it.
People will say it's mean to trash a child.
I don't care. As a child of Hollywood, I don't care.
She'll be okay.
She'll be fucking fine. I'm not trashing her. I'm trashing her parents. I'm trashing her parents for thinking that it was okay
to put her on stage
say,
like
who cares about the other children who could do this really well? I'm going to pay whatever it costs to get my child up there. Fuck you.
I cannot believe that.
I'm
bad. Shocked that she has no musical ability.
I'm not.
What? Why?
Because I don't see. I think I don't see those things nurtured. I don't see those things emphasized, and I see other things.
Yeah.
Style, fashion, the look, but not the actual talent behind it. And her father is somebody who's born with a lot of talent. And she wasn't born with it, so you have to create it. And if you're not willing to put in the work to create it, then you look like a clown up there.
How did you find that? It was in your feed?
It's everywhere, Susie.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you didn't see it. I can't believe it. It's like I have to now try to avoid it because it's like
you should have put that in our thread about the Whoopi Goldberg Awards. Sarah's been slipping. We have that award for the worst
I've been slipping. Okay, I'll get back.
Because that would have been a contender for the day for sure.
Totally. That's the winner. Ugh.
All right. Well, we were totally downers today.
Yeah, I don't care.
I really don't. I really don't.
I'm in a mood. I don't even care. It's okay. But you know what? Like my mom said, not every day could be the best day. Not every episode can be our candiest episode. Some of it has to be sad brain. Sad brain stuff.
brain. Yeah, that's
It's like the opposite of toxic positivity. Sad
but
brain day.
we like, sometimes being crabby is fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I regret nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. Me too.
We're all going to die in a heap of nuclear waste, according to Sarah, unless we get laser cats.
Unless we get some freaking Ray cats over here. Come on.
There's something about it, calling it Ray Cat. It makes me laugh.
That is the real name. And the logo for it is very clever and very cute. Ray Cat.
For Ray Cat.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's really...
It's
very funny.
Good work, everybody. If you're going to protect future generations from painful death,
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. Although you weirdos and you're polyamorous, whatever. I mean, listen, if it makes you happy, fine. But I don't think it will. I really don't.
Be like the Japanese and marry your friend and call it a day.
Because you know how, like, when that show Sister Wives came out,
yeah,
and we all agreed this isn't going to end well.
No, that's different.
We were
that's
right.
not
How
that.
is that
That
different?
is not, because that's not them marrying their friends and like
No, I'm
that.
saying polyamory.
Oh, well,
It's the same fucking thing. You think polyamory is different from sister wives? I got bad news for you.
I think polyamory exists in a more equitable, like,
because there can be more than one man.
yeah, and
All
I
right,
think
well, it's more equitable.
in the polygamy world that it's a little more rooted in
Misogyny. Okay,
yes, in
patriarchy.
misogyny.
I get it.
Yeah, thank you.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
That is true. It is a step above,
yeah,
but same problems because humans are all the same.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. More people, more problems.
Hey, Northwest, don't quit your day job.
Or
I don't
do
know
if
what
that
you're-
is it. I don't.
Yeah. Or do if that's it.
I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging with us. And please use our codes because, listen, do you really think we could get other jobs?
No, I cried too much at this one. I can't go
Think
to a
about
regular
it.
job, but like,
Can you imagine people?
so
can't
use our
work.
codes, join our club, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.